check in. It's the Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Dolls like you and me. Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Made him perfectly. So if you got a bump on your nose or lumps on your toes, do not despair. Be like the Raggy Dolls and say I just don't care. 'Cause Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls,
Raggy
are
Dolls.
happy just to be Raggy Dolls, Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me.
"Oh, my goodness!" exclaimed Princess. "Who could have done such a thing?" It was Sunday morning, and the Raggy Dolls were up in the treehouse, staring at a complete mess. "Just look at my paints," said Dotty crossly. "They're all over the place." "Someone's eaten my biscuits," moaned Sadsack, inspecting the empty tin. "We've been burgled," stammered Hi-Fi. "The telescope's gone." "No, it isn't," said Back to Front, looking out of the window. "It's down there. Someone's just chucked it in the hedge." "But why?" said Lucy, all of a tremble. "I don't know," said Dotty. "Someone's responsible, and we've got to find out who." Hi-Fi and Back to Front pulled the telescope out of the hedge and set off with the others to look for clues. On their way across the big field, the Raggy Dolls met Mr. Marmalade, the factory cat. They explained to him what had happened. "Dear me," said Mr. Marmalade, "how positively frightful. The guilty party must be found and apprehended." "Mais oui," said Claude. "But first we must find him, n'est-ce pas? Monsieur Marmalade, have you seen any, how you say, looking shifty persons hanging around ici?" "I'm afraid not," said the big ginger cat. "Let's go and ask Pumpernickel," suggested Princess. "Good thinking," said Dotty. But when they got there, the old scarecrow hadn't seen anyone either. "All I do know is someone's taken my hat. I was just taking 40 winks, and blow me if I didn't feel something scamper up me back and make off with me old Trilby." "Didn't you see who it was?" demanded Dotty. "No, it all happened so quick, you see. Anyway, whoever it was come up from behind, and I'm not much use as turning round, as well you know." "Could it have been the wind, or a bird?" suggested Lucy. "There ain't no wind today," protested Pumpernickel, "and it definitely weren't a bird. Birds is my business. They wouldn't dare come near me." "No, of course not," said Mr. Marmalade, who also knew a thing or two about birds. Besides, a bird would scarcely be interested in playing around with paints, or strong enough to throw a telescope out of a window. Said Dotty. "It really is a mystery. Oh, well, let's keep looking." "Well, why not you use the telescope?" suggested Hi-Fi, holding it up. "Good idea," said Pumpernickel. "Climb up on my shoulders if you like." In no time at all, Dotty and Hi-Fi were standing on the old scarecrow's shoulders. No, nothing in the big field," stammered Hi-Fi. "We need to be higher," said Dotty. "Then climb up on my head," said Pumpernickel. "I don't mind, so long as your feet don't tickle." Dotty climbed up on the scarecrow's head and pointed the telescope towards the duck pond. "There it is!" she exclaimed. "What is it?" said Lucy, imagining something horrible. "Pumpernickel's hat, and it's behaving very strangely." "Let's investigate," said Princess. When the Raggy Dolls and Mr. Marmalade got there, the hat was still hopping about. "It can't be the wind," whispered Lucy. "No," hissed Dotty. "Something is underneath it." "Leave this to me," murmured Mr. Marmalade, creeping forward, his eyes fixed on the hat. Then he pounced and pinned the hat to the ground with his paws. Gotcha," he purred. "Let me out," called a muffled little voice. "All right, you can come out now, but you must promise to stay where you are." "I promise," said the voice. Mr. Marmalade lifted the hat, and the Raggy Dolls stared in amazement. It was a tiny monkey, with paint all over its face and half a biscuit in its tiny paw. It stared at them with big, bright eyes. "Got any more biscuits? This is the last one." "Well, of all the nerve," said Sadsack. "It's a baby monkey," sighed Lucy, very relieved. "I'm not a baby. I'm nearly 4, protested the tiny creature. and before anyone could do or say anything, he jumped away and scampered off as fast as his legs could carry him.
"Hey," called Sad Sack, "you promised not to run away."
"I'm afraid young monkeys are not the most reliable of creatures," said Mr. Marmalade.
"He must have run away from Stony Brook Hall Safari Park,"
said Lucy.
"Suppose he gets into more mischief. I'm very worried about him."
"And I bet his mother is too," added Dotty. "We have to persuade him to go back." "No problem," said Back to Front. "We caught him once. We can catch him again. What we need is a trap."
"I don't see why we should give him any more biscuits," grumbled Sad Sack.
"Shh!" hissed Dotty. "Here he comes." The monkey made his way towards the trap, but seemed to take ages before going in.
"What's he doing?"
whispered Lucy. "I don't know," said Back to Front. "Aha! He's going in." Back to Front jerked the string that was supposed to tug the stick and make the box fall over the monkey. But nothing happened. The crafty little monkey had untied the string. "Bother!" said Dotty.
"He's eating all the biscuits,"
moaned Sad Sack. "No problem," said Back to Front. "We'll think of something else." "Indeed," said Mr. Marmalade. "We must find a way of appealing to his natural sense of curiosity."
"What are you doing?"
asked the monkey.
"A painting,"
replied Dotty casually.
"Would you like to be in it?"
"What have I got to do?" "Oh, just sit still."
"You promise you won't try and catch me?"
said the monkey suspiciously.
"I promise I won't touch you,"
said Dotty, choosing her words carefully. For high above, in the treehouse, the other Raggy Dolls were ready, with a net.
"Come and sit over here,"
said Dotty. "The background is better."
"I've never been in a painting before,"
said the monkey. As soon as the monkey was in position, Dotty began painting.
"Now tell me, why did you run away?" "Nobody loves me,"
said the little monkey.
"My mum's got a new baby, and she spends all her time with her."
Dotty looked at the little monkey's big, sad eyes and felt so sorry for him. She forgot all about the net. "Now!" said Back to Front. The Raggy Dolls dropped the net, but the monkey was too quick, and all they caught was Dotty. All day long, the Raggy Dolls tried different ways to catch the runaway monkey. They dug a hole and covered it up with sticks and leaves, but Sad Sack fell in. They made a lasso tied to a bendy tree, but Back to Front caught his own ankle. Even Mr. Marmalade couldn't catch him when they tried just plain chasing. Finally, they all lay down in an exhausted heap in the middle of the big field.
"It's no good,"
puffed Sad Sack.
We'll never catch him."
But suddenly, out of nowhere, up popped the little monkey.
"I just came to say thanks,"
he said.
"Thanks?"
gasped Dotty.
"Whatever for?"
"Well, for all the fun and games and all that."
"Fun and games?"
said Princess indignantly.
"We were only trying to help you." "Yeah, well, anyway, I've decided to go back now."
"Perhaps you'd be good enough to tell us what has brought about this sudden change of heart," said Mr. Marmalade.
"Promise you won't laugh."
"We're too tired to do anything," sighed Lucy.
"Well, I'm going back because I miss my mum and my baby sister."
And true to their word, the Raggy Dolls didn't laugh. At least, not until the little monkey was far, far away. And then they got the giggles. They giggled and giggled. The sort of giggles you can only giggle when you're very, very tired.
Raggy dolls, dolls like you and me. Raggy dolls, made imperfectly. So if you're not at ease with your knobbly knees and your fingers are all thumbs, stand on your two left feet and join our Raggy Doll chums. 'Cause Raggy dolls are happy just to be. Raggy dolls, dolls like you and me.